Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Derek.
Hey, everybody.
We're doing a different show because unfortunately Tubi took down Wicked Wicked Games, so we have to find other ways to watch it, but we will be back for the finale. But we're going into GH in the 90s. Karen and Eric are doing the 80s, so we're going to do the 90s. We started with Vanessa Marcel's first episode, which aired on September 18th, 1992, and we watched 5 episodes. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. So I was very happy that it wasn't just like a random cliffhanger that she appeared in, that it was actually like she just appeared at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess because she wasn't a returning character, they could do that.
Yeah.
But she shows up at her sister Julia's hotel suite, demanding to know why she was cut off from her trust fund inheritance.
Right.
Are you familiar with Julia? Like, was she around
Yeah.
when you started watching? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bobby and Tony are being held hostage by an author named Joe.
Right.
That apparently Bobby had wrote letters to because she wanted to get to know him better.
Which is weird. Why would she want to get to know him better? That's one of my questions.
Right. So, like, is Bobby, like, unfaithful?
I don't know. Like, I always felt like she was, like, devoted to Tony until, like, all that stuff happened with BJ, which is, like, 2 years later. But, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the affair with Carly and Tony, so I don't really know how all that goes down. I just know of it. But, like, seeing this, I'm kind of like,
She, like, feels bad for him or something? Is that why she wrote to him? That's kind of the impression I got.
Because of why?
She felt bad for him, or she just kinda, like,
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
The way she said it, I don't know. It sounded like she was intrigued. I don't know. I felt like there was, like, a romantic angle to this.
There probably was, because he was very, like, attracted to her, and he was, like,
Yeah, he looked familiar. I didn't, like, get a chance to look him up,
No, I don't know who he is either.
but I think I've seen him in other things. So were you thrown off by Tony Geary playing Bill Eckert?
Yes, completely. I was gonna say that, like, I was so weird to see him playing Bill Eckert and not Luke Spencer, but,
Was he already not playing Bill when you started watching?
he was playing Bill, actually, when I
Oh,
started.
okay.
He was still playing Bill, but I just, I'm so used to him being Luke.
Well, I think him and, what's her name? I'm liking Jeannie Francis
Yeah.
returned in April. So was he doing, like, double duty at 2 roles at one point?
Jeannie Francis was on All My Children at the time, and
Oh,
when Luke came back to the show initially, yes, he did play double duty for a little while, and then
okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Well, Bill Eckert and Ruby are waiting for news at Kelly's.
Mm-hmm.
Holly shows up to wait and waits with them. Now, I don't really know Holly, and Eric always like I always like make play a game with him because he's always like, "Oh, Emma Samms." I'm like, I don't know her. Like, I know of Emma Samms, but I never actually watched anything with Emma Samms in it.
Oh, you didn't watch Dynasty?
I never made it to her seasons.
Oh, heard. Got
Yeah,
it.
and I
Okay.
haven't seen the Colbys.
Okay, got it. Okay, yeah.
And I stopped watching Models Inc. before she came on. So it's like she always
Okay.
eludes me.
Yeah.
um, Mac wants to help Sean because he thinks if Joe suspects any funny business from the cops, he'll go crazy and start shooting everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
And Mac's always doing that. He's always getting involved in police work, and he's not actually a police officer.
but he's a police officer now, right? Or he was one at some point.
He became one at some point, but I feel like he might be a private eye at this point, or he becomes a private eye later. Because I know he and Felicia eventually start a private eye agency. So,
Oh, okay.
but he owns the restaurant now, currently, the one we saw.
The Outback, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that because I saw some of '94. Miguel was performing there.
Okay.
And what's his name? Eddie Main.
Okay.
Where am I? So Ned wants attention from Jenny. This is where I get confused because there was a few women that I kept thinking.
Ned is married to Jenny at this point.
Jenny Eckert.
Yes.
Who is Bill's sister.
Yes.
Okay.
Luke's cousin.
I got that because at some point, Bill was in a scene with Bobby and he said, "My dear cousin," and I'm like, right, they're related. So Ned wants attention from Jenny, but she's working. He mentions not being a fan of her working with Paul, who's played by Paul
Satterfield. Yeah, he plays Paul. Yeah.
Oh, Paul plays Paul. I'm like that. I knew the actor's name. I'm like, wait, did I get it wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Hornsby, right?
Yes.
That's Dylan's biological father.
Yes.
Okay, he's so cute.
I love him. I remember when he started popping up on shows in the 90s, and then he was on this GH, and then he was on Savannah after that. Like
Savannah, yeah.
Yeah.
I always remember him from like a season 1 episode of 90210. He was like Kelly and Brenda's skydiving instructor, and they were fighting over him.
And I don't know if you watched Just the 10 of Us, but it was on in the late 80s, and he was also a teacher on that show.
Oh, really?
Poetry teacher, yeah.
And I found out in recent years that he was on Pacific Palisades, another show.
Yeah, he was. He played that. I forget who he played, but yeah, he was Laura's love interest or something.
Yeah. So yeah, he mentions he's not a fan of her working with Paul, and she expresses similar jealousy for his working relationship with Julia. Okay. So I'm trying to keep the women straight.
Yeah, there's a lot of J's.
So yeah, so this is who I kept like mixing up. Julia, Jenny, and Dominique were the 3 women that I kept mixing up. I'm like, oh wait, that's not who I think it is.
Right.
Julia was easier because she's blonde, like blonde. Julia calls Ned to tell him someone at the hotel died from a heart attack, and his mistress is the mayor's or governor's wife. I couldn't remember which one she said.
Said mayor.
Yeah, some political figure.
Yeah.
Joe gets a getaway helicopter that he's demanding, but it's being flown by Mac. Sean tries to stop Joe from taking off by shooting at him, and Joe shoots Sean.
In the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah. Once in the air, Mac and Joe struggle as Mac tries to get the gun away from him. Robin, Felicia, Ryan, BJ, and Sly are all waiting on news.
Yeah.
BJ can't sleep, and Sly wants to know where his dad is.
Yeah.
But not Holly.
No, he doesn't care about Holly at all.
Did they soar-ass him at some point? Like, has he been on recently?
Sly? No. He they actually mentioned him not too long ago on the show, and like Laura hasn't heard from him, I don't think. Like he kind of disappears after Bill leaves the show.
Okay, so, yeah. Maybe I don't know. The name sounded familiar. Maybe they mentioned it on like Daytime Confidential or something, and it just stuck out in my head.
No, Luke and Laura takes Sly in after Bill leaves. So yeah. So, yeah, so he is on the show a little longer. I don't remember exactly what happened to him though.
Oh, maybe that's why it's familiar. Because I did watch some in '94. Maybe he was still on.
Yeah, he was living with Luke and Laura at that point, probably. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, you know what? I think eventually Jenny took him in, and that's why he left. Yeah, off screen.
Real? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where am I? Oh, so nobody is killed, and Tony has his head wrapped and is being taken to the hospital. Tiffany reports on the incident for the news, which is funny because a few months ago I watched the Ice Princess, the original Ice Princess storyline, and that was Tiffany's kind of introduction to the show.
Okay.
So it was weird for me because she was like an actress back then to now see her as a news reporter. I'm like, oh, okay, that was her transition.
Yeah, actress turned news reporter.
Yeah. um, Sean doesn't let anyone know that he was shot, and then until he passes out, he has no choice. Everybody sees,
Yeah.
which I don't get. Like, you were shot, like you're bleeding out, or you have a bullet in you. If it didn't like exit, like why would
Mhm.
you try to hide that?
Yeah.
Scott and Dominique, because I
Mhm.
I originally I think I put Jenny, and then I
Mhm.
scratched it out and I put Dominique. Offer to watch Kelly so Ruby can go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I think they are married.
Scott and Dominique are married, and I actually looked this up because I was wondering. It was like a shotgun wedding in Vegas. Like they had like it was like a drunken night in Vegas, and they got ended up getting married.
So it's yeah, because they were acting weird, like
They're
they're
not
not
really.
in a relationship, so like they're like trying to get
Yeah,
divorced. But I
yeah.
wasn't sure if this was like a marriage of convenience, like somebody
No, it
needed
was just like
money or
one of
something.
those like Vegas weddings. Yeah,
Okay. At some point, Scott mentioned Lucy to
yeah,
Sly, I think.
yes.
And I was like, oh right, Lynn
Lucy's off
Herring
the show at this
was
time.
on Days at the time,
Yeah, Lucy's off the show at this time. Yeah,
but she was about to leave Days, so she's probably coming back to GH soon.
we'll probably see her return. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Sean is going to be okay and is visited by his son Connor.
who I don't remember. I was like, oh, Sean has a son? Really?
um, Mac, Holly, and Bill head to Max, where Sly is really cold to Holly.
hmm
Um, oh, Robin is proud of Mac, but she was scared because it reminded her of her father and how he was killed. Well, killed.
Yeah. Robert and Anna are presumed dead in an explosion at this point.
I actually saw Robert's return in 2006. It was very
Uh-huh.
anticlimactic. He just
Yeah,
like
I
appeared.
have seen that.
And she was just like, wow. She's like, you faked your death for like 16 years.
Yeah,
It was very like brushed under the rug.
right.
Nobody had the proper responses because they were dealing with the monkey virus that Luke brought over.
hmm
Um, where am I? Oh, Mac notices that Felicia is giving Ryan a goodbye kiss, not like a make out, just like a kiss, and he's kind
Yeah,
of like, I guess, jealous.
you get a little jealous. I was wondering at this point if the audience knew Ryan was a serial killer or not, because Felicia doesn't know. But apparently, Felicia saw him kill his wife in Texas and doesn't remember.
Prior to this,
Yes, yes.
oh,
So she has no memory of that happening, and that's what is going on right now. But the audience, does know that he killed his wife at this point.
oh, okay. See, I thought I read that Ryan was originally good, and then when they brought,
I don't think
um,
no,
no,
mm-mm. No, because when Felicia returned to the show in 1992, which is a few months prior to this, she's in Texas with Maxie, and she witnesses this murder that Ryan committed, and she does not, and she blocked it out. She doesn't remember.
and you said we as the audience know it was him.
We think it's him. I don't think we know for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because I guess he would be fairly new to the show at this point.
yeah. Ryan's probably been on the show for maybe like 3 months, 4 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, good. I want to see that story. I like to know the backstory of everybody.
yeah.
um, Bobby and Tony lay in the hospital bed kissing, and he says, "Not tonight, honey. I have a headache." I didn't think that I would like them as a couple, but from seeing the BJ's heart story and then this, I'm like, I really like them.
Yeah, they were cute together.
I'm kind of sad that they didn't make it.
Yeah.
um, So the third episode, I have a big question mark on like Jason and Karen are dating because I always remembered like Karen and Jagger being together.
It's so funny to see Jason as Jason Quartermain and not Jason Morgan.
Right?
That was the first thing. I'm like, oh yeah, this is prior to '95. He is Jason Quartermain.
No head injury.
No head injury. He's a senior in high school at this point.
Yeah. Is AJ significantly older?
I think he's a few years older, yeah. But I didn't recognize the guy who played him because I watched when Sean Kanan played the role originally.
Yes,
So
I think Sean Kanan came on in either January or February of '93.
okay,
So this
yeah,
guy's run is almost done.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't really care for him to be honest. I don't know who this Nikki girl is that he's like engaged to. I have no idea who she is.
Really?
No.
So maybe she's not long for this world.
Yeah.
I put Jagger and Karen have longing looks for each other.
Yeah.
I love seeing Tracy so young and like scheming.
Yes.
I put she took baby Dylan out of town.
Yeah.
And Paul is not gonna follow her. He's just gonna wait for her to come back.
Yeah.
She returned to an angry Paul. Tracy apparently is looking for dirt on Julia Barrett.
Yeah.
Because she thinks
Oh no,
Paul
Jenny,
has a
not
thing for her. Wait, on Jenny?
Jenny. Yeah.
Oh, on Jenny, not Julia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This must have been when I got confused.
Because she knows Jenny has feelings for Paul, so she's trying to get dirt on her so she'll stay away from him.
Oh.
That's at least what I gathered from the whole thing.
Okay.
Or she's trying to protect her son. He's married to her, or one or the other. I'm not sure which.
Brenda is still trying to persuade Julia to give her inheritance money.
Right.
But Julia's like, no. She's like, you'll get it when you turn 25.
Yep.
And she's like, I'm in charge of basically giving you an allowance.
Right.
And she wants her to stay in Port Charles and go to Port Charles.
She also said the stipulation is that she finishes high school and college, so she's going to have to enroll at Port Charles High School.
Right. Yeah. So Brenda meets Jenny and mentions she met her husband late last night when she was with Julia, when Ned like came to the hotel to like work out the whole issue with the guy that died.
So far, I really like early Brenda. She cracks me up.
I'm not making fun of the actress, but her eyebrows were thicker.
Yeah.
We haven't reached the 90s where everybody had pencil thin eyebrows.
Yes.
I was like, wow, those look like caterpillars. I bet she wishes she still had those at this point because they probably couldn't grow back.
Probably.
So was it me or did it seem like Brenda was kind of flirty with Ned?
She was a little flirty with Ned, yes. Mm-hmm.
I know she eventually ends up living at the Quartermain mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why? If Julie is in town?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Are they friends of the Barretts?
Who, the Quartermains? I don't think so. Mm-mm. Well, Brenda and Julia's father, Harlan, was involved with Faison and what's the other guy's name? The other villainous guy.
Mikos?
Huh?
Mikos?
No, I can't remember his name, but it was Dominique's dad, or ex-husband, not dad. Leopold Taub, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, who is Cody's father on the show now. Or not Cody's father, but...
So was their dad a villain?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was a real character. I thought he was just somebody they said died and...
Oh, no, he was real.
I miss the days. This is when I texted you. I was like, the budget.
Yeah.
Because I miss the days where they would just have one episode and they had a huge party scene and a bunch of the cast was there. Like,
well, it's so funny how they cut down how many people are in each episode now and how how long it is. These episodes are a lot longer than what airs today.
Yeah. It's like 5 minutes longer.
Yeah.
I think they averaged around 41, 42 minutes.
hmm
Um, so yeah, so it's Jason's birthday party.
hmm
Um, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people giving each other looks they don't approve of who's there.
Right.
AJ shows up with that girl. Her name was Nikki, right? You said,
Nikki, yeah.
and announces that they're engaged.
hmm
But apparently, at some point, she did something.
Yeah, none of the Quartermains like her, so I want to know why. I really don't know why.
Through the dialogue, it sounded like at some point she was trying to get information by snooping around the mansion at some point.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure for who, what.
Yeah.
um,
Well, it's okay. It probably doesn't last.
AJ asked Ned about getting a job at the Port Charles Hotel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he owns, right? Or
Yeah.
runs. Yeah. I remember Sean Kanan's AJ working there.
Yeah, I do too.
Um, but everybody always Ned says that everybody always assumes that AJ's just gonna mess up instead of just
Mhm.
giving him a chance.
Yeah. It's so funny to see Ned like being nice to Asia because I just remember being so horrible to him all the time.
um, Ned mentions his drinking kind of in a roundabout way, and he says that
Mhm.
he's been clean since, and Nikki's helping with that. I'm like, oh wow, his drinking issues go that far back.
I guess so. Yeah.
I thought they were like more of like a later thing. I know that that's what kind of leads to Jason's accident,
Yeah.
but I thought that's around the time it started.
Oh no, it was definitely before that. I don't know
Oh,
when exactly, but yeah.
okay. Um, Brenda spots Jagger, and she kind of has eyes for him. I
Mhm.
like how Julia just pulled Brenda to some random girls that look like they were her age, and they were like, "Hi, this is my sister. Make friends."
Yeah, that was really weird and funny at the same time. Oh, and they made fun of Karen's dress later.
Mhm.
That was funny.
So, funny thing, I realized Vanessa Marcil and the actress that plays Karen in
Uh-huh.
1992
Yeah.
were both on 90210 during the
Yes,
same season.
I remember, yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, that's Matt's wife that was dying."
Yeah, it was, like, season 9, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wonder if they, like, got a chance to hang out behind the scenes, like, "Remember when we were on Geech together?"
Yeah, sure they did.
Um, what else happened? Oh, also, Jason did something that his grandparents didn't approve of. I wasn't really sure what.
Yeah, I didn't know either, and so funny to see the original Edward Quartermain because I've never seen him before. John Engel played the role when I first started watching, so
I
yeah.
know, he's the Edward that I most associate with.
Yeah, same. So I'm
Um,
guessing the guy who the original Edward's run is coming to an end as well soon.
Probably.
Yeah.
I've seen him. I've gotten used to this one because 'cause I've been watching a lot of older stuff.
Mhm.
I think he's the one that Tracy, withheld the heart medication from.
Yes, I've seen that, those YouTube clips. Yeah, it was definitely him.
And that was, like,
Yeah,
late '70s, early '80s.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so I don't know what Jason did, but he apologizes, and on that note, his grandfather gives him, like, a gold coin that's, like, a family heirloom.
yeah. And I was thinking in the back of my head, well, Jason doesn't have that anymore. He doesn't care.
I had a similar thought. I was like, "Oh, I wonder if he, like, gave that to anybody like Michael or something."
Or Emily or somebody.
Um, Tracy was there with Paul, and they were kind of giving dirty looks to Nikki.
Mhm.
But Tracy doesn't like anybody. She doesn't
No,
like any interlopers in the family.
no. I love Tracy. She's the best.
It's weird to see Ned or young Ned without, Lois. I'm not
Yeah,
used to this.
Lois is probably about a year away from coming on.
Yeah. Um, so then the last 2 episodes, I guess, were a lot of Sly being a brat and
Yeah.
trying to break up, Bill and Holly.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but were Luke and Holly a popular couple?
I I would guess. I don't know.
So they were
They're
trying to, like,
probably
carry
trying to
on that
recreate that with
chemistry?
Bill and Holly.
Yeah. I wonder if that ever took off.
Doubt it.
'Cause I
Mhm.
know she was, like, on and off the show a lot.
Yeah, I don't think Emma Samms is on the show much longer either because she was not on the show when I first started watching. So
Hmm. When I saw her very briefly in 2006, she was a villain, and from everything I read, they're like, "That wasn't Holly." Like, the way they wrote her.
yeah.
Like, she had the cure to the virus or something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so Sly was a brat. I kinda didn't like that.
Yeah. And Scott
Um,
was sitting with him at Kelly's and talking to him and telling
yeah.
him, like, that's the way life works, kid.
It's kinda weird to see Scott and the actors being friendly
Yeah.
in their characters because Luke and Scott don't get along.
Well, it was really funny because Bill called him Baldwin at one point, and that was Luke's name for him.
Okay.
So I don't. It was very interesting. I was like, maybe he kind of like kept it going when he played Bill Eckert. I don't know.
Yeah. It was interesting to see the actress that plays Karen's
hmm
mom,
Oh yeah. hmm
because I've only seen her on Port Charles.
hmm
We watched Time in a Bottle, so I got to, like, know her a little bit through their version of her with
Okay.
this actress. So
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
interesting
it's
to
the
see
same
her
actor.
younger.
I didn't watch Port Charles, so not not at that point, but I watched at the beginning of it. But yeah, so it's the same actress.
Yeah, it's the same actress.
Oh, okay.
And I've only heard Dominique mentioned.
hmm
I've never actually seen her.
Yeah,
I could be making this up, but I have a vague memory that she dies.
she does.
Oh. Is she, oh, what's her name? The daughter, Scott's daughter.
Serena's mom. Yeah,
Who's Serena's mom?
yeah. Lucy carried Serena though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
hmm That's when I first started watching, so I know that kind of stuff. Yeah, it all happened in '93, I believe.
So you had texted me, Robin, don't get in the car with Ryan. I don't remember that. When did she get in the car with Ryan?
Well, Ryan was gonna take Robin to school the morning after the hostage situation,
Oh.
and he was and I was like, no, Robin, don't get in the car with Ryan. Oh, and they also I texted you this. They showed the scene did from the Jackie C Memorial episode where with Felicia and BJ,
All right.
and that I was like, oh, got a little sad there.
Oh. Um, oh, so Felicia was at the Outback, and there was, like, one random guy sitting at the
Mhm.
bar.
Yeah.
Um, I stopped paying attention. I don't really like Felicia, if I'm being honest, so I really don't pay attention to her scenes.
Oh.
But he had a knife, but
Mhm.
he turned out to be a good guy, but, like, why did he have a knife?
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Or
And
maybe it
just, like,
wasn't a knife. Maybe it was something else. I don't know.
it looked like a knife.
Yeah, I thought so
It was
too.
something pointy, maybe a
Mhm.
letter opener? I don't know.
Maybe you need a letter.
I don't know. Do they still use that set, like, on the show? Do you know? Like,
I don't think
no?
so. Mm-mm.
They haven't, like, repurposed it as something else?
I mean, not that I know of.
Sometimes on days, I can see, like, pieces of other sets, and I'm like, "Oh, that used to be something."
The Quartering Mansion is completely different. That was another thing that was pretty funny to me is how different it looks now.
Mhm.
And I thought it was funny to see Reginald again. That was funny. He was the butler for many, many years in the '90s, and
I recognize him. I feel like he kinda
yeah,
floods over into the 2000s a little bit.
he does. Yeah, he was there for a while. Yeah,
It was funny because, like, the doorbell rang, and he didn't answer it at first, and he was like, I'll get it," and Paul was like, "Well, it is your job."
right. They haven't had a good butler since Reginald. They really haven't like replaced him.
Really?
I don't feel like they have. No.
Um, so there was some talk about fingerprints.
hmm
I don't remember for what, But that's when Ryan started having these weird flashbacks.
And I think that's when he killed his wife.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Because Felicia was like, "Yeah, fingerprints could last forever as long as they weren't cleaned." So
Yeah.
he's like,
Mhm.
so he looks super guilty, and I
Yeah.
didn't know why.
Yeah, I think that we'll find out more about that, I'm sure. But yeah, I think it's because what Felicia doesn't remember is that she saw him kill his wife in Texas. But yeah,
So now I'm all confused because I feel like what I read was wrong, or I misinterpreted what I read because I thought Ryan was originally good. So
I
he's
feel like
obsessed with
he
Felicia,
was, but we didn't know it was him originally. So maybe you're correct on
but I also read it on Wikipedia, and that could be edited by anybody.
that. Mhm.
So he's like, is he like obsessed with Felicia?
I think he is at this point. Yes.
Because I
He
feel like,
followed her back to Port Charles and got a job at the hospital. So yeah, I would say so.
and then does Kevin also become a little obsessed with Felicia?
Yes, but it's weird how it was a weird thing. Like he does, and then like it got resolved somehow, and I don't know. But that was like 2 years later, I believe.
Because I watched PJ's Heart, and there was like a lingering thing there, and I was like,
Yeah,
what's happening here?
yeah,
Because I only know Kevin really mostly from Port Charles, so I'm just like, when does he get with Lucy?
yeah. Not for a while.
I always thought him and Lucy were like the couple.
We also met. Well, we didn't meet, but she's been on the show. But we saw Jessica Holmes, who has an important role in 1993. She was the one that was like pursuing Scott at the restaurant, and she interested in Scott, but he's married to Dominique.
Oh, really? She looked familiar, and I didn't know why.
Yeah, she has a big storyline in '93, so I remember
Okay.
her pretty well. And she's an attorney, and she had a little fling with Scott, but but Scott was using her because he was trying to get something with his lawyer status. I forget what it was, and
Hmm.
she still likes him, obviously, and is trying to get him to partner up in a firm with her. So yeah,
Yeah, he mentioned something because a secretary or a
yeah.
clerk or something was like, "Oh, I saw your divorce papers. I moved them to the top of the pile," and he was a little like,
Put him back to the
he's like,
bottom.
"Well, I had a little issue with the board or whatever." He's like, "So maybe just put it all the way back at the bottom."
Yeah, I think he likes Dominique and he wants the marriage to work out, but I don't think she's there yet. Or he's after her money, one or the other.
Oh,
I don't know. But
hmm. Doesn't he leave the show like
Scott?
soon ish?
No, he's got a while left before he
Oh,
leaves.
does he? Okay.
Yeah, hmm
Okay, I thought he left at some point and
he
came back.
will. He left probably at the end of '93, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. Um, so I'm kind of interested in what I guess could be a potential triangle between Brenda, Jagger, and Karen.
yeah, and Jason. So it's like a quadrangle.
And I also want to see this girl Keisha that Jason eventually dates because all I hear is that he dated some girl named Keisha and then he
Yeah,
had an
6
accident
years
before,
away.
but he loved her
Maybe 2.
years ago.
We got the whole '90s to watch. So here we go.
Was there anything in these episodes I missed that you wanted to mention?
Well, I talked about the Jessica thing. That's going to become important. I did like the whole Connor thing. I kept mixing up Connor and the old AJ. I kept forgetting who was who.
Oh.
But yeah, I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know if Sean had a son. I don't know who his mother is. It's definitely not Tiffany.
Yeah.
And Tiffany mentioned she's trying to get pregnant, which is also going to be important later on.
Okay.
Let's see. We didn't really see enough of Tony and Bobby. I feel like they only had like maybe 2 episodes with them. They had the hostage and then the resolution.
Yeah, because he was like unconscious a lot.
Yeah, he was. I do like I like Brenda in the so far. I think she's I like her attitude. I like her spunk. She cracks me up.
Well, Sunny doesn't come on until August of '93, so we have a good like
Oh yeah, we got
11 months of Brenda without Sunny.
yeah. I
So
I
that
don't
should be
even think
interesting.
Bob was Sunny until later on because they did a whole storyline with Karen first.
Right.
Yeah,
Which I've only heard of. I've never actually seen.
yeah,
Um, so that'll probably be around the summer of '93 if
yeah,
that's when he comes on.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah, mhm.
Unless the story starts before he actually appears.
I don't know. And Stone's coming soon too, so
Oh,
that'll
okay.
be fun. Yeah,
Ooh, I'm excited. Gotta get my tissue ready for that. I've never seen that story, so that's why I want to watch the '90s because there's so many things I've heard that I've
93 is
always
a
wanted to
really good
see.
year. I'm glad we started at the end of 92 so I can kind of see what was going on before I started watching. So
Mhm.
that's really fun. I want to know who Nikki is. I have no idea who she is. I want to know more about her.
She
Um,
also looks familiar, like she may have popped up
yeah,
in a lot of '90s things.
she could have. I don't. I'm not sure who she is. Um,
Maybe we'll do some research.
yeah. I want to know who the guy is that played Joe. I don't. He looks familiar too.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him in prime time.
Yeah. Hmm.
I would assume this role was short term. I can
Hmm.
imagine he was on for more than 6 months.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and Tony doesn't even seem mad that this all was because, like,
Yeah.
he decided to write him.
Right.
They probably had a back and forth
Hmm.
because I can't imagine this was all from one letter.
Oh no, they definitely had like a few exchanges for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder if they like called each other or something or anything. I don't know. He just like showed up and like held Bobby hostage or something. That
I'm
happened.
sure they met also at some point.
You think they
He
met?
probably
Okay.
stalked her.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And then when he didn't, like, return his feelings, he probably got angry and held them all
Yeah.
hostage. The end.
Yes. And I'm excited to see BJ like before all that, all that tragedy happened. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I had started in '94. Well, at
hmm
first I was just watching Sunny and Brenda clips,
hmm
and then I started watching full episodes around April of '94, so then that led right into BJ's Heart in May.
yeah,
So that's all I really saw of BJ was, like, 2
hmm
months.
yeah,
And everything happened so quick, I was like, "Wait, I wasn't ready."
yeah.
I didn't know we were doing this right now.
Well, it's funny. I was in junior high when this aired, and I would come home and watch it after school. Well, in '93, not in '92, but
Mhm. What
yeah,
time did GH come on for you?
three.
Okay, me too. That was, like, the one soap that I could see it in its entirety
Yeah, same.
before SoapNet.
Yeah, same.
If I ran home, I could catch, like I would only miss, like, the first 10 minutes of Passions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's if I ran. But the first 10 minutes of Passions, you didn't miss anything because Passions storylines went on for years.
Oh my god, it was so slow the first couple years.
And my grandmother was more into Passions than me because
Oh,
it
really?
aired where Another World was, so she just watched it out of habit.
I watched Passions probably the first 2 or 3 years, and then I stopped watching. Then I watched it again, and then I stopped watching after it got completely ridiculous.
Yeah. I think, yeah, around 2002 or 3, I stopped.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it was very patchy. I would only watch it if I was home or if it was summer
Mhm.
because I really didn't feel like I missed anything. But anything else on GH before we wrap this up?
No, I think I'm good.
Well, I'm excited to watch more episodes.
Yeah.
I'm invested.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us for our start of 90s GH 1992. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night.
Have a good
Bye.
night, guys. Thanks.